Hello and welcome back to Let's Play Victoria 3 as Aotearoa, a Let's Play series where I, Kettle Plays, teach the Maori people on how to be resource hungry and expand their empire just to get more oil and more coal. This time I'm not gonna talk too much about the Maori history at all because we'll reserve more time for the last episode. I want to talk about the point from which we deviate. So right now we're a bit in the alternative history mode here, but once the last episode comes out, I will talk more about what happened after the Musket Wars. So stay tuned in for the last episode if you want more history, but in the meantime, let's get back to the game. And we're back up against the Italians in the War of Recognition. Aotearoa versus Italy. How are we doing? Well, Italy is so far losing because they're getting -1 to exhaustion. Well, we only get like less than half of that, so everything is looking quite well. Who do we have as enemies? We have Russia. We're gonna win this war. I'm gonna humiliate the Italians by putting a kiwi on a pizza, and that's how we're gonna show them who's the man and be finally recognized as a major power for that. So unfortunate that the Dutch East Indies Peasant Revolt has decided to stamp out the revolution. I mean, they start diplomatic play, stamp out. I don't know how that works exactly. It sounds a bit stupid in a sentence, but the thing is that they're having a revolution right now, and we're gonna have to help our allies. For our glorious war machine to work, we need to make sure that we're importing automobiles, which are not invented yet, or at least manufactured. We need some cannons too, and sulfur. Now, you might think that the great British Communist Republic has a problem with Lithuania, but that's not the case. It's the Zulu. They have stolen the Lithuanian flag. I was a bit shocked for the third time when I saw this. I thought that there was a conflict in Eastern Europe, but no. The Baltic countries do not exist at the moment, and there's no conflict there. Oh, so revolutionary Italy is beating Italy back into Rome, it seems, and that... Oh, no. Oh, no. Our Navy is really getting it handed to by the Russians here, the Baltic Sea, unfortunately. And now our money situation is a bit tight, since we're effectively bankrupt right now. So the war for Italy has taken a turn for the worse, as we have successfully invaded the Italian peninsula. And now we're slowly but surely gaining territory here, which spells disaster for their war effort, and they're getting -10 due to exhaustion every month. So soon enough they're going to have to give up. In the meantime, let's go back to the less laggy side of our little world here, where we have the great days. Better road networks have led to an increase in South Island traffic, followed by a consequential increase in pollution. So I do wonder, like, is the pollution important in this game? Because I've never seen it do anything. So maybe I'm not gonna spend money I don't have on pollution. This is looking nice. Look at that. The whole Italian coast is now controlled by Aotearoa, and they're -16. Now let's see how the war against the peasant revolt is going. So, because I think that what happened is that we sent the military that was fighting the peasant revolt to Italy. Lucky for them, they can enjoy the wine and the good weather, while in Java we're going to try to push back against the peasant revolt and see how that works out. Yes! Finally, Aotearoa is recognized as a major... Oh, I'm sorry, great power. That's better than major, right? That's a whole different word. All we have to do is finish up the war against Russia, which we can actually just propose as a white peace. In the meantime, the war against the peasant revolt is a bit of a disaster, so we're gonna have to try and turn that around, but luckily, since everybody came home, we can now expect them to be able to escort these convoys here, and perhaps even launch a naval invasion of the central Java region, since we really need to move in troops very fast, as we are losing some of these battles here against these rebel scum. And now, finally, we have signed a peace treaty with Russia, so there's no more problems there. We just need to finish this revolt, which we can't finish off for some reason, but either way, we just need to finish this off, and then we will be finally able to start stabilizing our country's economy, which is kind of in a gutter right now. And we seem to be finally winning our battles against the rebels in Java. However, Tidore has now declared a revolution, which we will try to put down as soon as possible. Finally, by using superior numbers, we can grind down the peasants in Java. This is looking quite good for us. So I just can't wait for us to win this damn war, because this has been going for a while right now. They will need to capitulate for this war to end, and we are much closer to capitulation than they are. As a matter of fact, they are speeding to it much slower than we are, so this is not a good look for us. We kind of need to win this war. You know, great power. We kind of need to show them that we deserve that name, huh? And thank God we did. We won Communist Dutch East India War. So everything is looking good. Dutch Indies are not independent, which is what I care about. I don't care if they get communist, to be honest, but they are quite rebellious towards us. So maybe we can improve the relations here, so that we don't need to worry about them revolting in the future. Same goes for Tidore, as a matter of fact. Maybe we should look after our relations with our vassals so that they don't get into the mood to revolt against us. And it has finally happened. The revolutionary Tidore has capitulated, and now we can start thinking about paying back our loans, hopefully. Right, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna lower the salaries a little bit. We are paying a lot in interest, so that's a bit of an issue here. But, you know, at least we won the war. So that's the positive that I want to focus. Cancel road maintenance. That's gonna give us some authority that we need to put on some taxes. I really want to tax services. Looks very lucrative right now. Can we cancel? Yes, we can. Nah. Okay, look, we can just get away with building a railway. And now I'm going to... Okay, we need more. Yeah, stop being imperious. And we can now cancel the emergency relief here, which means... we're still not there. We still need 25. Let's see how that would look like. Yes, indeed we can. And now we can finally slap on those service taxes. Now we're making a noticeable dent in our debt, constructing a lot of things, especially starting up that fishing industry that we want to do, because we need that fish to finally start making canned goods. And I've just noticed that we can actually have a defensive pact with Communist Great Britain. Communist Great Britain is our ally since time immemorial, so let's go ahead and just propose that to them. Hopefully they will accept that. Now, what else can we do? Can we... we can offer protectorates to people. Okay, they don't want that. Well, look, this is our new power, right? We can offer people to accept us as their overlords peacefully. Except that nobody wants that, but... Okay, so we are reputable right now, which means we can maybe look into adjusting the map here. What do we have? We have Banjar with 240... Kutai with 500. What do we have here? We have Selangor, who we can actually make into a puppet. I wonder, maybe we can make Siam into a puppet. Now that's a bigger fish. Let's see. Siam has 4 million in GDP. Much more desirable. Who would stand against us? It's just Siam, Portugal, and Ballot. So I can go against Ballot. I think there's no issue with that. So let's try and go for this diplomatic play and see where that takes us. Oh wow, as I was upgrading our steel mills, it seems like Siam has backed down and now they are officially a part of our zone of interest. What do you call it? Like sphere of influence. Yes, that's the one. Aotearoa in blue is now on Siam, and next up it's Cambodia. We are going to try and see if anybody else wants to have it or is weak enough to not be able to say no to it. Karen, let's see, what do we have here? 400,000 people, 600,000 GDP, sounds quite nice. Ooh, Burma. Burma, who are you with right now? Are you single? It appears like they are indeed quite single, but they do have a defensive pact with East India Company, which might become an issue. Luang Prabang seem to be independent, and I want them to be a full-blown puppet. Wow, Dutch East Indies might even help us with that. I don't think they should, but alright. They haven't so far. They're quite uncertain for now, so I want to give them some reason to be more certain of their decisions here. So let's just mobilize some soldiers. all around this area and see what how they feel about that. And it seemed like mobilizing troops was enough to have Luang Prabang back down in the diplomatic play. And now they are paying us some good money. Let's see, are we making a lot of them diplomatic pacts? Nah, that's not that much, but they're free. It's free real estate, so we're gonna keep expanding our sphere of influence and try to make more and more money. Now, looking back at Italy, where we just won a war and humiliated the country just to make us a great power, it seems like the communist Italy is winning the war handily, and they're even more powerful than we are. It seems like they have more prestige, to say the least. Looks like regime change is in store for Italy. And look at that, mechanized farming is now unlocked, which means our farms can be made much more effective. And let's see by how much. Tractors. Let's use those tractors. And finally, zeppelins are unlocked, and that can't mean anything bad for our airship mooring post for skyscraper has now been unlocked. Okay, can we build that in any of our urban centers? Can we build skyscrapers? Right, we are actually lacking a little bit when it comes to steel, so we need to optimize the economy right now. But let's see if we can just build a skyscraper somewhere. Let's see. Nope. Doesn't appear like we can, actually. So we're gonna just have to wait until we can do that. And then we're gonna start firing up those zeppelins and see how they explode. And now we have finally finished building up our fishing industry. So we do have enough input for canneries. So this will increase the productivity of our food industries tremendously. But of course, probably we will need to have a few more fishes out there in the sea before we can fully take advantage of it. And of course we should upgrade those as well, since they're brand new. They're not making a lot of money, to be exact. Same goes for whaling stations, although we are still not making a lot of money out of those. And let's not forget to build all of our oil rigs, just to make sure that we get enough of that sweet, sweet oil. The mechanization of farming. The grand project of mechanizing agriculture throughout Aotearoa is now complete. Never before have such an abundant yields have been tallied. Distribute the surplus to the poor, or do we say, no, we're gonna distribute that to the poor. You don't want to mess with the poor, I guess. Actually, there's not much they can do about it, but we're good people. We're nice people. We're the Social Democratic Party, so we're gonna give more to the poor and less to the industrialists. Look at that. There's only one political power that is powerful enough to form a government right now in Aotearoa. So that's looking good. And plastics are finally unlocked, and we can now use houseware plastics in our glassworks, which makes some sense. Does it make any sense? I don't think it makes a lick of sense, but hey, look at that. That's going to make a lot of money for us. So we're just going to substitute some of our medium-sized glass factories into plastic factories and see how that goes. Thank you, plastic. Thank you for not polluting our oceans on which we depend. Communist Party is now formed in Aotearoa. What are we gonna do about that? Oh, exactly nothing. But let's see who became the communists. I'm very curious about that. And it's the trade unions. And then now the Social Democrats have been obliterated. So it means intelligentsia and trade unions are no longer in power, I suppose, because they didn't win any elections. Let's see. So what do we get if we try to reform the government? Chaos. Alright, well, I guess 7 is better than 0. Thanks, trade unions, for not being selfish and breaking up the only party in the country who can rule. And then, again, the only party in the country also. Thanks, trade unions. And now, finally, after the Communist Party has been created, they won 100% of the election. What is going on with the politics here? Come on, guys. Like, we can do better. We're a democracy, right? We're supposed to be a democracy. Let's let the intelligentsia back in the government. And let's see, what do you want to do? Well, I guess given that the communists are now ruling the country, we should become a council republic, right? It looks like it will radicalize everyone except for the communists. So I'll put that on the back burner. In the meantime, let's expand our bureaucracy, as the communists would do, and just make sure that all of the goods that we require are being made. Currently have a bit of a deficit when it comes to paper, but that does not mean that we have any means of getting more paper right now. I'm just going to build some more paper factories, make sure that we have enough tools, glass, and so on, and we're just going to keep optimizing our economy. Right now, the budget is doing quite okay. We can actually lower the taxes right now. It seems like Karen is actually a viable puppet, so let's see if we can just make it into one. It seems like nobody will be against us doing that, and we can just like have some of these conscripts here in Indonesia HQ, and we can then raise one of our generals there as well. So it appears that Cambodia has joined their friends in Karen to stand up against us. That's very brave of Cambodia. I commend them. And of course, Karen is going to lose because they're still fearful of us. That means that they're very pessimistic about their chances to emerge victorious in the diplomatic play, so they're probably gonna cave in and join our sphere of influence and our growing market too. And yes, it appears that Karen has succumbed to our threats and have joined our sphere of influence. So our glorious Aotearoa market is growing right now throughout the region, and we're gonna keep trying to add more and more countries until we meet a line that we're gonna have to try and cross. Probably it's a Spanish line that we're going to cross, since they're not doing quite well right now. Where is Spain? Oh, here they are. Number 9. Poor Spain. Probably we're gonna start stepping on their toes here and continue expanding over anyone who's not Britain, because Britain is our friend. Our GDP is exploding. Look at that. We're number 3 GDP per capita worldwide, number 4 in total. We're just behind Württemberg and Prussia when it comes to per capita, and we're right behind Great Qing when it comes to GDP. So look at that. Aotearoa started off as 50,000 people in the northern tip of the northern island, and now we're almost rivaling Great Qing in terms of GDP. That's quite an achievement for our small country. So I'm slowly starting to decide that I think Selangor will be our next subject. It seems like we don't have a lot of countries that would object to that, outside of course, Selangor themselves. But luckily, to the way that military works, they don't have much of a say in that. Okay, well, that was quite a heavy sort of drama here in Selangor, because for a second East Indian Company was supporting them, but luckily they backed down, so there's nothing standing in our way of obtaining Selangor for our fine country. So let's just quickly mobilize our forces in Eastern New Guinea and our general as well, and see how that goes. And now finally, political agitation has been unlocked. By taking to the streets, political agitators rile up people, encouraging them to take action at the first possible moment. That gives us more authority and +1 minimum expected standard of living from literacy. So all of our literate people will want to have a higher standard of living, and that unfortunately unlocks the fascist party, and we can outlaw dissent as well. Votes for women. And look at that. Women in Aotearoa have begun organizing to campaign for their right to vote in general elections. Tia Huyan Gapora of the intelligentsia has emerged as a leading figure for this movement. A worthy cause, considering that we already had a female president. I mean, shouldn't women be allowed to vote by now? Okay, and yes, Selangor has now yielded the main primary war goal to us, which is becoming our puppet. Now, who else wants to become a part of our wonderful alliance of countries, or never had a choice to be in our sphere of influence? And of course, that probably is going to be Champasak, because they don't have much of a choice here. Nobody's going to side with them except for Burma. We don't care what Burma thinks. Make puppet right now. And now we can see that Champasak has also backed down, thus increasing our trade revenue, not the trade, but diplomatic revenue, but also our market, really, when you think about it. So hopefully that means that we're gonna have some more raw materials for us to use. And of course, we do have a lot of fabric, a lot of grain, and a lot of wood that we can now use. Also seem to have a surplus of explosives, which is a new one. Does that mean we can have better mines? A stable power supply. The recent expansion of power plants in Eastern New Guinea has inspired faith in the future where all of Aotearoa is electrified. Unlimited power, yes please, that's what we want. And let's see if that means that we can use some more electricity in more of our processes, such as obtaining some lumber. Where is our lumberjackery going on? Electric sawmills? Nope. Well, maybe we can have it like... nope. Not an effective. And a suffragist has been killed. An activist seeking to bring attention to the cause of women's suffrage has died in an accident at a derby, killing by a racehorse belonging to Matatuaera Kenena. No one will have to die for this cause if basic rights have been granted, or we won't extend political sympathy to such reckless behavior. Wait, what? Oh, what is happening here? So, rural folk are actually pro women's rights, and trade unions are anti-women's rights. What is up with you? Hey, but you're supposedly a feminist, so why do you have a problem with that? That is interesting. Well, politics work in mysterious ways, don't they? Old action rifle has been unlocked, and is that exciting? No, it's not, unfortunately. Not terribly. It doesn't unlock any new military. For that, we will need trench works, which we will be focusing on next, since we might end up in a few conflicts before the game ends. So we should not discount that possibility for now. Right now, we do require some more government administration, which we will try to expand with priority right there. Right, so we do have a bit of an issue with our bureaucracy. Other than that, we need more tools, so we're just gonna try and import them. Let's see if we can. No, we're already making them as cheaply as possible. So let's see, can we actually... I'm thinking, so we do have Japanese shogunate, which has 30 million GDP, which is quite a lot for a potential puppet, if you know what I mean. But thinking about it, let's see, what do we get if we try to make them our puppets? Okay, so nobody will be up against us, right? Oh, we're infamous. Maybe we should first enact women's suffrage. Oh, it seems like it has a lot of support. Of course, trade unions, intelligentsia, and the rural folk. Rural folk? Ah, they're being read by a feminist. Koroki Hirangi is a feminist, so are the rural folk, I guess. Isn't that nice? A surprise to be sure, but a welcome one. Photographs of Aotearoa. It has been suggested that we take and distribute some pictures of our country's most famous landmarks. Do we need legitimacy? I don't think so. We have only one governing party, one party in the elections. Don't want to ask about it. It's very democratic. Right, and it seems like the Dore now has a new revolution brewing up, and we are going to activate our conscripts here in Aotearoa in the West Guinea, and we're also gonna mobilize our general there so that we can put down this revolt quite fast. And we have a suffragette rally as well. Rallies in support of women's suffrage law have been taking place around the country, but some of them have been turning violent. Let's risk it. Did we win? Yes, we did. Okay, that risk paid off. So we have 97% chance to actually finally allow women to vote. And oil has been found in Eastern New Guinea. I like that. So that means that we can actually start building more oil rigs here, which we are going to do because oil is very expensive, as you might have assumed it is. So is electricity, and we have very few unemployed right now in Eastern New Guinea. It's the tool shortage right now. It's shrinking slowly but surely, but we need more steel to make it work. So we're gonna start importing some of that sweet steel, and maybe even start expanding our steel mills. And unfortunately, Revolution Tidore did not get scared of our military, so we're just gonna have to... Wow, women's suffrage! Look at that! With war comes new opportunities for women to vote. So now we have a larger workforce ratio. We have a lot more dependent enfranchisement, because most of these women previously were considered to be dependents, but they are not anymore. Of course, birth rate will fall, which is good because we kind of depend on immigration anyway, so we don't care about that birth rate too much. So this is just simply good news for our economy. So now I think in Eastern New Guinea that also will mean that, yeah, we have more unemployed, so more people to work in our oil rigs. The wheels of capitalism keep turning. And it seems like the Revolution Tidore has lost the revolution. Fortunately for us, plastic production has now been completed, which means we have an event saying the switch to plastic in our glassworks is set to revolutionize the industry. Plastic is the future. And now finally, Aotearoa, it's bad news by the way, Fascist Party has risen, as has Liberal Party, which is fine. Social Democrat Party back in the game. No more communists, I guess. So liberals and social democrats are now separate. So we're holding our first election since voting franchise has been extended to women, marking the beginning of new era in Aotearoa democracy. That means, well, we should become the women's party. Yeah, let's do it with the workers. Yeah, trade unions, sounds like it. They should get along. Oh, we're having more and more oil being discovered right now. And of course, Austria-Hungary is now considering us to be their rival, which is fine. We do have some... Yeah, the menace has been exaggerated. We're buddies, right? Look at us. We're in a defensive pact. How can they be our enemies if we are literally in a defensive pact? Everything in the first 4 pages is being built right now, so that's quite an achievement. if I may say so. Let's just expand our iron mine since we do require iron. I don't think we use a lot of rubber right now. I really want to have some more dynamite, please. Eastern New Guinea, Kanak and Bugin will start making us some dynamite. Everybody is welcome. We need as many people working in Aotearoa as possible. Our GDP is going to explode soon enough. So we're number 2 in terms of GDP. That's quite interesting. So we're right behind Austro-Hungarian Empire, which is a whole head above us. I wonder what happened with Austro-Hungarian Empire that in this game it is the most powerful country. That is quite unusual, unexpected, a historical, if I may, and a new election is in the Social Democratic Party gaining the 73% of the votes, gaining the seat in the government. They are the only ones that matter. And the fascists did not win. Do we have the fascists? Oh, trench works are now unlocked. Now, while for a long time Austro-Hungary has been a big rival for us and the huge enemy, now they seem to be consumed in a revolution. And the revolution wants the Kaiser back in power. It's a petite bourgeoisie revolution. Our good friend Dutch East Indies are demanding independence, which we are not willing to give them, but good on you. Good on for trying to think for yourself. Not gonna do it. In the meantime, we need to select something new to research here. We have electric railways. Let's go for that. Maybe that's actually a good reminder to try and build some more electric power plants, as tools are very expensive when we lack 6,000 tools right now. We're in a huge deficit, and that means we're gonna try and import some of them here. And oh, look at that. So we now have electric railways, and let's go into the radio. Maybe we can start manufacturing that. Power plants are doing quite well. We need more coal to make them more productive, so coal power plants would be nice if there was unlimited coal. Right, oh, okay, we have a war with Jambi. I completely forgot that we were puppetizing Jambi, and yeah, we need to mobilize some of our forces here. So in the Indonesian HQ, I'm going to ask our conscripts in... why can't I join this front? Well, I guess I just can't. Let's hope that Dutch East Indies will win the war for us, which they probably will. And we have finally enforced our war goals on Jambi, so they are back in our fold. They have escaped for a bit because of the weird way that the region works, and we can't seem to be able to move our troops in, but now that is not an issue anymore. What's the unemployment like? It seems like we don't have a lot of unemployment in the country right now, which should put us safely in the #1 spot in the world when it comes to GDP per capita, of course, and GDP too. So that's looking good. What's with the unemployment? So yeah, no more unemployment in the country. Looks like, yeah, that's just 1,000. We don't have any more places to expand our industries. And another unnecessary war that we find ourselves in. Let's just send our general there and make it fast. We don't need this. Oh, look at that. So we hit a huge landmark here. It's 500 million in GDP. So that's $500 million. We're almost up to $1 billion in GDP per capita. It's 1919. Aotearoa is looking strong. So obviously, as the standard of living is so high, there's very few radicals right now. A lot of loyalists, though. Out of 27 million people, 16 million are loyalists. And analytical philosophy is now unlocked, which means we can improve our universities. So let's immediately go and do that. Start making automobiles. Huh? I didn't expect that. So yeah, oil... right now is quite expensive. Whaling stations could give us oil, so let's expand all of the whaling stations that we can, just so that we are maximizing our production of oil. And let's see, what can we do with that? So lead is quite expensive. It used to be quite cheap because nobody needed lead, but so now we can start improving the production methods for lead finally, because it starts to make economic sense. And now finally we have reached the 20s, looking really good. So have a bit more than $500 million in GDP, #1 in GDP per capita, #3 in terms of prestige. But I'm sure in other terms we look much better than North Germany and Australia right now. Austria, not Australia. Common mistake. What happens with the Aotearoa Empire next time? Come back next week to find out. Thank you for watching. This was Kettle Plays, and good night.